The awakening edge. The quantum detection array hummed with a foreboding resonance that Commander Area Vashti had never heard before. Standing in the command center of Proxima Station, humanity's farthest permanent colony, she watched as the holographic display revealed a pattern of approaching vessels that sent chills down her spine. The formation was unmistakable, a galactic consortium battle group, moving with deadly purpose toward humanity's most vulnerable outpost. "Confirm those readings," she ordered, her voice steady despite the growing knot in her stomach. Lieutenant Marcus Chen worked the sensor controls with practiced precision. "Confirmed, Commander. 87 ships. Consortium designation. They've disabled their identification beacons." He looked up, his face pale. "They're coming in dark." The implications were clear. This was no diplomatic mission. The Galactic Consortium, that loose collection of advanced civilizations that had welcomed humanity to the interstellar community just 20 years earlier, was moving against them. Area had suspected this day might come, but not so soon. "How long?" she asked. "At current velocity, 18 hours until weapons range." Area nodded. "Initiate Protocol Penumbra. All civilian personnel to shelter zones. Combat teams on full alert." She paused, then added the words she'd hoped never to speak. "And awaken the Sentinels." The command center fell silent. The Sentinels were humanity's secret insurance policy. Advanced eye-guided defense platforms hidden throughout the Proxima system, their existence unknown to their supposed alien allies. Deploying them would be an admission that humanity had violated the consortium's technology restrictions, but Area now understood those restrictions for what they truly were: chains to keep humanity controlled. "Commander," Communications Officer Talia Rodriguez interrupted, "we're receiving a transmission from Earth Command." Admiral Ishikawa herself. The holographic display shifted, revealing the stern face of Admiral Yuki Ishikawa, Supreme Commander of Earth's Defense Forces. Her expression confirmed Area's worst fears. "Commander Vashti, the consortium has declared humanity a destabilizing element in galactic civilization. They'd voted unanimously to contain us." The Admiral's voice was cold with controlled rage. 3 hours ago, they destroyed our diplomatic outpost on Rigel without warning. 5,000 civilians gone. Area felt her blood run cold. "We've detected their battle group approaching Proxima. They're moving against all human settlements simultaneously. Their council voted to eliminate what they're calling the human aberration before we become too powerful." Admiral Ishikawa's eyes hardened. "The pretense is over, Commander. Execute Prometheus Protocol. Authorization Ishikawa Omega-7." Area drew a sharp breath. Project Prometheus wasn't just defensive technology. It was humanity's most closely guarded secret, a quantum breakthrough that redefined what was possible. The consortium had imposed strict technological limitations on humanity, claiming it was for cultural integration purposes. In reality, they feared what humans might become. "Understood, Admiral." Prometheus activated. After the transmission ended, Area turned to her command staff. "The time for hiding is over. Activate the full defensive grid and bring Prometheus online." Deep beneath Proxima Station, in chambers unknown even to most of the station's personnel, quantum computers powered up. These weren't ordinary systems. They operated on principles that the consortium believed impossible for primitive humans to understand. Yet humanity had made the breakthrough 3 years earlier, working in secret while maintaining a facade of technological compliance. Lieutenant Chen approached, holding a quantum-encrypted data tablet. "Latest intelligence on consortium capabilities, Commander. Their vessels are equipped with phase-shift shields and graviton weaponry. Conventional defenses won't hold." "Conventional defense isn't the plan, Lieutenant." Area accessed the secure terminal with her biometric signature. "They think they know what humanity is capable of. They're about to learn how wrong they are." Throughout Proxima Station, hidden systems began to activate. Ordinary-looking walls reconfigured, revealing advanced weapon systems. civilian areas transformed into defensive strongholds. What had appeared to be a vulnerable scientific outpost was unveiling itself as a fortress. In her private quarters, Aria accessed records that detailed the true history of humanity's relationship with the Consortium. From the beginning, the Alien Alliance had feared human adaptability and innovation. While other species developed over millennia, humans compressed technological evolution into centuries. The Consortium's synapsychologists had predicted that an unrestricted humanity would achieve technological parity within a century, a prospect that terrified species that measured advancement in eons. Their solution had been simple: welcome humanity into the galactic community, but hobble them with technological restrictions and carefully monitored development zones. What the Consortium never suspected was that humans had recognized the deception immediately and had been preparing for this inevitable betrayal. Project Prometheus was the culmination of that preparation, a quantum entanglement system that allowed instantaneous communication and coordination across vast distances, bypassing the limitations of light speed that constrained Consortium tactical systems. While their alien counterparts relied on predictive algorithms to coordinate fleet actions across space, human forces would react in perfect synchronization, regardless of distance. As the station transformed around her, Aria received an urgent communication from Dr. Eliza Nakamura, chief scientist of Project Prometheus. "Commander, Prometheus is fully operational, but there's something you need to see." The scientist's face was tense with excitement. "The system is exhibiting unexpected emergent properties. It's evolving." Aria hurried to the hidden quantum laboratory where Dr. Nakamura and her team worked amidst a forest of holographic displays. The central projection showed a pulsing, multidimensional pattern that shifted and changed even as they watched. "What am I looking at, Doctor?" "The Prometheus network isn't just enabling communication, Commander. It's creating a distributed intelligence. The quantum entanglement is allowing for information processing on a scale we never anticipated." Nakamura gestured to the display. "It's developed the ability to predict Consortium tactical movements with 98.3% accuracy." Aria stared at the display, comprehending the implications. "You're saying Prometheus has become sentient?" "Not exactly sentient. More like an extended human neural network. It's amplifying our natural cognitive abilities across space and time." Nakamura's eyes gleamed. "The Consortium thinks they're facing primitive humans with stolen technology. They're actually facing something unprecedented. Humanity's collective intelligence, accelerated and enhanced beyond anything they can comprehend. As Prometheus evolved, its capabilities expanded throughout the star system. Hidden defense platforms awakened, establishing quantum links with their human operators. Ordinary colonists found themselves linked to the network, their specialized knowledge and skills suddenly available to anyone who needed them. A metallurgist's understanding of structural weaknesses became instantly accessible to weapons officers. A pilot's intuitive grasp of spatial dynamics informed defensive positioning. Humanity was becoming something new, not through artificial enhancement, but through unprecedented connection. 12 hours before the Consortium fleet would arrive, Aria called together her command staff. Their faces showed a mixture of fear and determination. "The Consortium believes they're executing a simple containment operation against a primitive species that's grown too ambitious," she began. "They expect us to be surprised, disorganized, and easily overwhelmed. They expect us to beg for mercy." Her voice hardened. "We will show them exactly how wrong they are." She activated the tactical display, showing the approaching enemy fleet. "For 20 years, we've played the role they assigned us. The eager, grateful newcomers to galactic society. Today that masquerade ends. Today we show the galaxy what humanity truly is." As she spoke, Prometheus continued its silent evolution, connecting human minds and machines in ways never before possible. Throughout the Proxima system, human defenders prepared, guided by a shared purpose and understanding that transcended normal communication. The Consortium Fleet Commander, High Admiral Zik Spala of the Tellurian Dominion, approached the Proxima system with absolute confidence. His intelligence briefings categorized the human outpost as a scientific installation with minimal defensive capabilities. The operation would be brief and efficient, a surgical excision of a potential problem before it could threaten galactic stability. What his sensors detected as he entered the system shattered that confidence in an instant. Instead of a vulnerable outpost, his fleet faced a fully mobilized defense system of stunning sophistication. Weapons platforms appeared where none had been detected before. The human station had transformed, revealing integrated defensive systems that shouldn't have been possible with their permitted technology level. Most disturbing of all, the humans were moving with inexplicable coordination, responding to consortium maneuvers before they were even executed. Impossible, the Admiral whispered as the first wave of his attack craft encountered defensive fire of pinpoint precision. Ships that should have easily penetrated the human defenses were being systematically targeted at their most vulnerable points that were classified knowledge within the consortium military. On Proxima Station, Aria watched the battle unfold with grim satisfaction. Through Prometheus, she could sense the growing confusion and fear among the consortium commanders as their careful plans disintegrated. "They're dividing their forces," Lieutenant Chen reported, his mind directly linked to the tactical systems through Prometheus. 3 battle groups attempting to surround the station. Aria nodded. "Exactly as predicted. Deploy Sentinel groups Alpha through Delta. Maximum dispersion." The hidden defense platforms moved into position, their quantum-linked targeting systems functioning with impossible accuracy. The first consortium vessel fell, then another. Not destroyed, but precisely disabled. Weapons, propulsion, and communication systems surgically eliminated. "Message to all consortium vessels," Aria commanded. "This is Commander Aria Vashti of Proxima Station. You have initiated hostile action against a human settlement in violation of all principles of galactic law. We are defending ourselves accordingly. Your vessels are being systematically disabled. You will not be harmed if you cease aggression immediately." There was no response except intensified attacks. The consortium forces, realizing their advantage was lost, had committed fully to the destruction of the human outpost. "They're deploying graviton charges," warned Chen, "attempting to collapse our defensive perimeter." Aria watched as the deadly weapons, designed to warp space-time itself, hurtled toward the station. If even one penetrated their defenses, thousands would die instantly. "Activate Prometheus' final phase," she ordered quietly. Throughout the system, the quantum network that linked humanity pulsed with new energy. The graviton charges, moments from impact, suddenly shifted. Their trajectories altered impossibly, turning back toward the vessels that had launched them. "What's happening?" demanded Aria, watching the inexplicable reversal. Dr. Nakamura's voice came through the command channel. "Prometheus has achieved quantum field manipulation, Commander. It's redirecting the gravitational weapons using their own energy signatures." The consortium vessels frantically attempted to evade their own returning weapons. Some succeeded. Many did not. The silence that followed was profound. On the command deck, Aria received a direct communication from High Admiral Zix Fala himself. The alien's compound eyes reflected shock and something new in consortium interaction with humans, respect tinged with fear. "What are you?" the Admiral demanded. "What have you become?" Aria straightened, meeting the alien's gaze with unwavering determination. "We are humanity, Admiral, and we are no longer playing by your rules." The reckoning storm. The aftermath of the initial battle hung in space like a silent accusation. Disabled consortium vessels drifted among the debris of those that hadn't survived their own weapons. On Proxima Station's command deck, Commander Aria Vashti received reports from throughout the system as the Prometheus network continued to evolve, connecting human defenders in ways that transcended conventional communication and coordination. 17 consortium vessels completely disabled, 8 destroyed by their own graviton weapons, reported Lieutenant Chen. His consciousness partially merged with the tactical systems through Prometheus. They're regrouping at the system's edge. Reinforcements are arriving through their FTL corridors. Arya nodded, feeling the collective determination of her people through the quantum network. What had begun as a simple communication system had become something far more profound, a shared consciousness that preserved individual identity while creating unprecedented unity of purpose. Their reinforcements won't change the outcome, she said with quiet certainty. Prepare a quantum probe. It's time the rest of humanity joined this fight. The quantum probe, utilizing the entanglement principles that made Prometheus possible, would carry the evolved network to Earth and all human settlements instantly. What had begun on Proxima would spread throughout human space, creating a unified defense that the consortium could never have anticipated. Deep in the secure quantum laboratory, Dr. Nakamura monitored the accelerating evolution of the Prometheus system. "Commander, you need to see this," she called urgently. "Prometheus has accessed the consortium BattleNet. We're receiving their entire tactical database, and more." Arya stared at the flood of information pouring through the quantum displays. What she saw chilled her to the bone. The attack on human settlements wasn't a recent decision. It had been planned since the first contact 20 years earlier. Humanity had never been welcomed as equals. They had been assessed, contained, and scheduled for elimination the moment they showed signs of advancing beyond the consortium's control. "They'd done this before," she whispered, scanning the classified historical records. 17 other species, all systematically eliminated when they showed too much potential. The consortium, presenting itself as a benevolent alliance of advanced civilizations, was in reality a ruthless hegemon that preserved its dominance by eliminating competition before it could emerge. The technological restrictions imposed on humanity hadn't been for cultural integration. They had been to ensure humans remained vulnerable until the consortium decided it was time to remove them. Arya's resolve hardened. Transmit everything to Earth Command. All of it. As the quantum probe activated, carrying both the Prometheus network and the damning consortium records, Arya felt a subtle shift in the collective consciousness. Horror at the betrayal, yes, but also a steely determination that spread from mind to mind across vast distances. Aboard the consortium command vessel, High Admiral Zik Spala faced an unprecedented situation. The primitive species that should have been easily contained was displaying technological capabilities that violated fundamental consortium understanding of physics. More disturbing still, the humans were operating with a level of coordination that suggested some form of collective consciousness, a development that the consortium had believed impossible for individualistic species. "Deploy the phase disruptors," he ordered. "If they're using some form of quantum entanglement, the disruptors will sever their connections." The massive weapons, designed to destabilize quantum fields across entire star systems, powered up. They represented the consortium's most advanced technology, never before used in actual combat. The Admiral watched with satisfaction as the energy buildup reached critical levels. Whatever advantage the humans had temporarily gained would soon be neutralized. On Proxima Station, Prometheus detected the phase disruptor activation instantly. Through the quantum network, every human mind connected to the system understood the threat simultaneously. "They're deploying quantum field disruptors," Arya announced, though most of her command staff already knew through their Prometheus connection. "If they succeed, our network will collapse." Dr. Nakamura's voice came through both conventional communication and the quantum link. "Commander, Prometheus is suggesting a counter-approach. I've never seen anything like this." The quantum displays showed a complex pattern of energy manipulation that seemed to defy conventional physics. "They're trying to disrupt our quantum fields," Nakamura explained. "But Prometheus suggests we can invert the process, use their own disruption waves to enhance our entanglement." "That's impossible," objected Chen. "You can't convert destructive interference into constructive interference." "Not in conventional quantum mechanics," agreed Nakamura. "But Prometheus is operating beyond conventional limitations. It's suggesting principles that I don't fully understand yet." Arya made her decision. "Do it." As the consortium phase disruptors reached full power and released their energy across the Proxima system, Prometheus executed its countermeasure. The destructive quantum waves that should have severed all entanglement in the system instead encountered an inverted field that absorbed and redirected their energy. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Instead of collapsing, the Prometheus network expanded exponentially, strengthening connections between human minds and extending its reach far beyond the Proxima system. Across human space, people suddenly found themselves connected to a vast consciousness that preserved individual identity while creating perfect understanding. On Earth, Admiral Ishikawa experienced the connection in the middle of a crisis meeting with the Defense Council. Her surprise quickly turned to comprehension as the collective knowledge of Proxima Station filled her mind. Without speaking, she nodded to her staff, who were experiencing the same revelation. Throughout human settlements, defensive systems activated in perfect synchronization. The consortium forces that had expected to find isolated, vulnerable targets instead encountered a unified defense operating with impossible coordination. Back at Proxima, Aria felt the expansion of the network like a sudden awakening. Through Prometheus, she sensed the collective response of humanity, not a hive mind erasing individuality, but rather millions of individual humans choosing unity of purpose while maintaining their distinct perspectives. The phase disruptors have been neutralized, reported Chen, almost unnecessarily. Everyone connected to Prometheus already knew. The consortium fleet is in disarray. Indeed, the alien vessels were breaking formation, some attempting to retreat while others continued their attack with diminishing coordination. Through the quantum network, humans could anticipate consortium maneuvers with perfect accuracy, neutralizing each attack before it fully developed. "We're receiving a transmission," announced Rodriguez. "It's from the Consortium High Council themselves." The holographic display shifted to show a group of diverse alien beings, the ruling council of the galactic power that had plotted humanity's destruction. Their body language conveyed shock, and in some cases, fear. The central figure, a tall, crystalline entity called a Vexar, addressed Aria directly. "Commander Vashti, this conflict resulted from a regrettable miscommunication. The consortium seeks immediate cessation of hostilities and diplomatic resolution." Through Prometheus, Aria sensed the collective reaction of humanity to this transparent lie. There was anger, yes, but also a surprising measure of restraint. Humanity had discovered its power, but there was no appetite for revenge. "Your records have been exposed, Counselor," Aria replied calmly. "We know this attack was planned from the beginning. We know about the 17 other species you've eliminated. There will be no return to the previous relationship." The Vexar's crystalline features hardened. "The consortium has maintained galactic stability for 50,000 years. Your species threatens that stability with your uncontrolled advancement. The restrictions we imposed were necessary. Necessary for your continued dominance, perhaps," countered Aria. "But that era is over." Through the quantum network, she sensed a surprising development. Not all members of the consortium supported the policy of elimination. Many individual aliens, and even some entire species within the alliance, were appalled by the revelations. The unified opposition to humanity was fracturing. Most surprising of all was a direct quantum communication from an unexpected source, a faction within the consortium itself. Led by the Ellerin, a species that had long objected to the elimination policy, they offered humanity an alliance against the consortium leadership. "We have maintained a secret resistance," explained Keylor, the Ellerin representative. "Many of us have objected to the eliminations, but lacked the power to oppose the dominant factions. Your Prometheus technology offers a path to reform the consortium from within." Aria brought this information to Earth Command through the quantum link. The response was immediate, an offer of alliance with the resistance factions, conditional on complete equality and technological exchange. As negotiations proceeded, the consortium hardliners made one final desperate attempt to prevent the alliance. A stealth vessel, carrying a dimensional collapse weapon capable of destroying the entire Proxima system, approached from beyond the sensor perimeter. Through Prometheus, every human sensed the threat simultaneously. Defensive systems throughout the system reoriented, but the stealth technology was formidable, designed specifically to evade detection until the last moment. In this critical moment, Prometheus evolved once more. The quantum network that had begun as a simple communication system now extended its perception beyond conventional space-time. The stealth vessel, invisible to normal sensors, could not hide from humanity's expanded awareness. "Target locked," announced Chen. His consciousness merged with the defensive systems. "Dimensional collapse weapon detected." "Neutralize it," ordered Area, her command flowing through the quantum network with perfect clarity. The defensive response was precise and overwhelming. Sentinel platforms throughout the system converged on the stealth vessel, disabling its systems before the weapon could activate. The consortium's final gambit had failed. In the aftermath, a new galactic order began to emerge. The consortium's monolithic control fractured as the resistance factions, emboldened by human support, challenged the elimination policy openly. Many species, learning for the first time about the fate of potential competitors, withdrew from the alliance in disgust. 6 months after the Battle of Proxima, representatives from human settlements and former consortium worlds gathered on neutral ground to establish a new interstellar covenant. Unlike the hierarchical consortium, this new alliance would be founded on principles of equality and mutual advancement. Commander Aryavashti, now Admiral and humanity's chief diplomat, addressed the gathered representatives. Through Prometheus, she could sense the cautious optimism and lingering fears among the diverse species. The consortium maintained what it called stability through domination and elimination. She began. It feared advancement and diversity as threats to control. "We propose a different vision, a galactic community that celebrates diversity and shared advancement." The Prometheus technology, modified to allow limited connectivity without full consciousness sharing, provided instant translation and reduced cultural misunderstandings. Species that had been kept separate and suspicious of each other under consortium rule found common ground with surprising ease. Clore, representing the former resistance factions, addressed the assembly after Area. "For too long, we accepted the narrative that competition between species inevitably leads to destruction. Humanity has shown us another possibility, that diverse perspectives, unified by common purpose, create strength rather than weakness." The new alliance, named the Galactic Accord, established principles of technological sharing, mutual defense, and cultural exchange. Most revolutionary was the absolute prohibition on species elimination, a direct repudiation of the consortium's fundamental doctrine. As the conference concluded, Admiral Ishikawa joined Area on an observation deck overlooking the gathering. Through their Prometheus connection, they shared thoughts without speaking. "They're still afraid of us," observed Ishikawa, sensing the lingering caution among some alien representatives. "With good reason," Area acknowledged. "We've changed everything they thought they knew about what's possible. The question is, what will we become now?" Ishikawa gazed out at the stars. "Prometheus continues to evolve. Our understanding of reality expands daily. Where does it end?" Area considered this. Through the quantum network, she could sense humanity's collective response to their new power. A complex mixture of ambition, caution, and profound responsibility. "It doesn't end," she replied finally. "That's what the consortium never understood. Evolution isn't a threat to be contained. It's the fundamental nature of life itself." Together, they watched as representatives of 30 different species departed the conference, carrying with them the foundation of a new galactic order, one built not on fear and domination, but on the recognition that advancement shared is advancement multiplied. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged transformed. Not just survived, but evolved. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now pulsed with possibility through the quantum connections of Prometheus. The journey was just beginning.